Hello, today we're going over stretching for the low back and hips. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Greg, and if you have any questions, post about them in the chat or the comments. So we're going to be doing 5 stretches for the hips and low back, and then stick around to the end because we're going to have a bonus mobility exercise for the low back, which is great, especially if you have a stiff low back. It'll really help with that. So we're going to get started with our first stretch for a muscle that's actually starts up at the spine and goes all the way down to the hips. We're stretching the psoas muscle, which is a hip flexor, okay? So we're going to start out in a kneeling position, and we're going to be stretching, I'll start this way. We're going to be stretching the muscle in the front of your back leg. You should feel it goes all the way from your spine down across your hip into your leg. So from here, what we're going to do is you're going to tense up your glute, your muscle back here, to push your hips forward. So you're going to try and really push those hips forward, opening up that hip. Now you don't want to lean forward with your body. You want to try and keep your body up and just push your entire hips forward till you feel a stretch deep here in your hip. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. So get in this position, kneeling 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, stretching that back leg by pushing your hips forward. Trying to breathe in through your mouth, or in through your nose, out through your mouth. Trying to relax into that stretch. We want to relax as we do this. We don't want to try and tense up. We want to tell the entire nervous system to relax as we go into that stretch. This is a very common muscle to have tight, especially if you do have a desk job or if you do a lot of driving, because in that seated position, this muscle stays short. So we're opening that up, really letting that hip open up. You might feel it all the way up into your spine or even your low back. We're going to hold this for about 5 more seconds and then switch to the other side. All right, so now putting the other leg back, other leg forward, and pushing your hips forward. Hang on 1 second, I have an error. Okay, I think we're doing okay. Let me know if you can see me in the chat and comments, or if there's any sort of technical problems, let me know. So 1 foot out to the front, we're stretching that back leg, so you're pushing your entire hips forward, keeping your upper body upright. Remember, it attaches up at that spine, so where your spine is matters to how this stretch goes. So staying upright, pushing your hips forward, feeling that stretch. Now, if you ever feel like you're short of breath, back off a little bit from this stretch. It means you're going a little too hard on it. Just go to where you feel some tension, but no pain. If there's ever pain, you're pushing too hard. And we're gonna hold this about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now we're gonna stretch a muscle called the QL muscle, or the full name is the quadratus lumborum, but most people just call it the QL. So that's a muscle that goes from your rib cage down to the top of your hips. It's this big sheet of muscle across your lower back. So these can get tight, especially because we don't really move a lot this way. This muscle can tighten up and actually cause tension back here. So what we're gonna do to stretch that out, is you're gonna lay on your side with your legs straight out. Now it's important, your hips don't rock back. You want your hips forward as you're doing this. So we're gonna start like this, bring your hips all the way forward. That's our starting position. And then with the other arm, you're gonna push up till you feel a stretch down here on the underside of your back. So we're stretching a muscle from, again, your rib cage all the way down to the top of your hips. So if you can, push high as you can go. Don't let your hips rock back. Keep those hips forward. If you want to, you can take the other hand and put it down in front of you to help yourself not rock backwards. And we're gonna hold this stretch for 30 seconds. If you aren't feeling the stretch, try and push a little bit higher until you feel that stretch from your rib cage down. It's a giant sheet of muscle across your back. And holding for about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And switch to the other side. So laying on the opposite side, remember hand comes down in front of you and then pushing up on your elbow, keeping your hips on the ground. If your hips start moving, then you're not actually gonna get the same stretch on this one. So try and keep your hips straight forward. And hold that stretch. I'm gonna move just a little bit so you guys can see me. I like this one, especially if you're in a seated position for a long time or a lot of your day. Don't really get that swaying motion. As we walk, we'll have a little bit of sway in our hips, so you get motion in this. But if you're seated, it locks in the hips in that position, so they don't really get to sway side to side at all. So that what's called lateral motion or lateral flexion doesn't really happen. So these can stiffen up and people can get low back pain, low back tension. And holding for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. All right, so now we're gonna move a little bit lower down into the hips. We're gonna stretch the side glutes or the gluteus medius. So you don't need to remember these names, just giving you the names in case you wanted to ever look them up. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your foot, put your heel at your knee. Now this is the leg, the bent leg is the one we're stretching. So we're gonna stretch, one sec. All right, so we're gonna stretch right across here, across the side of the hip. So you're gonna take your hand. So if we're doing right leg, left hand grabs the right leg and pulling over and across your body until you feel stretch on the outside of your hip. Goes from right here up into the top of your hip. And we're gonna hold that stretch. This muscle runs over the top of some nerves in your hip and down that run down your leg. So it's important that we actually stretch these out because they can actually cause low back pain if this tightens up over the top of those nerves. So we're loosening those muscles, keeping length in the muscle. And then relax. And same thing on the other side. Bring your foot to your knee, grabbing across your body. So left leg, right arm, and then pulling over and across your body, feeling a stretch on the outside of your hip on the bent leg. And hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Fifteen more seconds to go. 5, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. All right. So now what we're going to do is a figure 4 stretch for a small muscle called the piriformis in your hip. So it runs right across the middle of your hip and it runs right over the top of the sciatic nerve. So if any of you have sciatica or have ever heard of sciatica, this is one of the muscles that can actually put pressure on that nerve. So we want to make sure that it's not tight over the top of that nerve. Okay? So what you're gonna do starts very similarly. Do it? Hang on one sec. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the bench over to get a little bit better vantage point. So going here, you're going to cross one leg over the top. This is the leg we're stretching now. And from here, you're going to grab through, I'll show you this way actually, so you can see through and underneath, and then hug your knee up towards your chest till you feel stretch in this hip, deep in that hip. All right? So hugging across your chest, or across to your chest till you feel a stretch deep in that hip socket. And holding this for 30 seconds. This is called the piriformis because it actually looks like a pear-shaped muscle where it's got one larger end and one tapered end. I believe it comes from Latin. It's literally, I think, form of pear, piriformis. And switch to the other side. Some muscles have weird names like that. So you're going to cross your leg over the top, putting your heel at your knee, reaching through, grabbing behind your leg, and hugging your knee towards your chest till you feel a stretch in your right hand leg. If your left knee is the one you're grabbing, you're going to feel a stretch in your right. And 20 more seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. All right, so now for this very last one, we're going to stretch a band of connective tissue called the IT band. So it runs from your knee all the way up into your hips, into the back here, into your glutes. So it actually, your glutes attach into that IT band. So what we're going to do is take a belt, or you can even use a towel or a piece of fabric, whatever is handy. And you're going to put it around your foot, laying on your back. So it just has to wrap around your foot, just to give you some extra support. You could also grab your pant leg and do it that way too. So from here, what you're going to do is pull, again, if I'm stretching my right leg, stretching this outside IT band, I'm going to be holding in my left hand. So I'm going to pull over and across towards my left till I feel a stretch in that whole IT band across here. Again, should not be painful, just should feel some light tension. We're actually stretching the muscles attached to that IT band right now. And holding this for 30 seconds. 1, actually 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. And bend that knee. Switch your legs. And pulling over and across, so stretching your left leg, pulling with the right hand down and across your body. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. All right. So now we're gonna do one more thing for a mobility exercise for your low back. And for this, I'd grab a chair. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab onto the back of the chair and lean forward till you are about straight. From here, you're gonna push your rib cage up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. So you're trying to get that middle back moving, okay? Because that takes some of the pressure off your low back. Sometimes we are feeling stiff on our low back, but it's actually because it's having to push so hard at the low back because the middle back is not moving, okay? So we're gonna get that middle back moving, going up and down. This is our mobility exercise. It's great to do this. Even every day you could do this and it wouldn't be a problem. Pushing that rib cage up and rib cage down. So really think about that rib cage moving. Remember pointing your chest flat towards the ground. Doing this about 10 to 15 times. You could even do this twice a day, 3 times a day, wouldn't be a problem. As long as it's not causing you any discomfort or pain. As with everything, anything that causes you pain that is saying something's a problem and we need to stop. And it's a great mobility exercise for your back though. It keeps everything moving, gets circulation into the spine, and helps keep everything healthy. So that's our stretching for lower back and hips. Hope to see you guys next time.